So my name is Maloney. I'm a full-time college student in DCU, and I do online coaching, I do bikini competing, and I just do gym stuff. And I'm nowhere a college student, but like I'm doing gym and my sport for bikini competing and all that. Oh, and I'm 18. Or 19. I started my Instagram I think in 5th year, 2 years ago or something like that. And it was mainly just to keep my own progress, and I was following loads of other people to get inspiration, and I was just putting up recipes and my own pictures and selfies just to kind of track my progress. And then I don't know, when I started doing bikini competing and when I was 18 or that, it started to pick up from there because people were seeing, they were inspired about me competing and doing the leaving cert and balancing them both. So it all started picking up from there, and they saw my progress, and then just loads of younger people were interested in it because people in school find it really difficult to balance it all. So it just kind of picked up from that sort of time.
Okay, and were you always into fitness?
Oh my God, no. I actually hated exercises. The only thing I used to do, I did do sports, I did basketball, and that was probably the only thing that made me do any sort of exercise. I tried loads of sports, but I could never stick to one. But my diet and that, I was addicted to sugar and all this kind of stuff. So after school I would eat 5 chocolate bars, and I didn't care at all. And I don't know, just 6 year, I don't know, something clicked, and everything changed from there. I don't know what, it was just one click, and all of a sudden it all became part of my life.
And could you pinpoint something that kind of inspired you to start the bikini competing competitions?
I got into weight training first, and then I went down I told my mum I wanted to go down to one of the competitions just to have a look, because I seen bits and pieces on Instagram, but it wasn't as popular as it is now. So I wanted to go down to see one of the competitions. So I brought my mum down, and we watched one of the ones in October in 2015. And after the show or whatever, I said to my mum I was going to do that show. One of these days I'm going to do the show. And obviously she thought I was mad, because no way, I had very little confidence back then, so she thought no way was I going to get up in a bikini and do poses like that and people judge me or whatever. So just from there, I had this, just when I have a goal in my head, I'm just determined to get it. So that was the first time that I was ready to do that. At the moment, I'm just doing online coaching.
Yeah.
So I'm doing a part-time course in PT and learning that way. So I'm doing my full-time course, and then I do my part-time course in evening times, and that's to get me into the gym and do PT and studio class and stuff like that. But I do online coaching at the moment. So, but it's with a part of Ashley Crooks Fitness is who I'm with. So I'm a coach underneath them. There's a few coaches, and I'm only doing online coaching now, but the plan is to go in and do PT, because I'd love to see people in the gym and help them out in the gym and stuff like that. The client base was from Instagram and stuff like that, so people could relate to me on Instagram, and they could see my own work and the effort I put into, and they're kind of really interested in how I'm doing it. And then you get questions anyways on Instagram of what you're doing training wise, so just from there, people follow me on there, and then you kind of get questions saying, do you do online coaching? So kind of all from Instagram mainly though.
And how did you get into doing the vlogging on YouTube?
I watch loads of YouTubes, I'm addicted to YouTube, and I do watch all the vlogs. And it actually looks easier on YouTube than it actually is to do it. And after my leaving cert and all that, I said that was the one thing I'm going to move on to do next. And I got the camera or whatever, and I started vlogging and stuff like that. And I do find that difficult to do, because you have to be so confident to be able to pull out the camera and just do it. So I was doing really well, but you have to be so consistent with it, so it's really, really hard to, I know nobody cares around you doing it, but for me it's just kind of so hard to have the confidence for it, I suppose. I know when I look back in the vlogs, I'm just cringing a little bit, and sometimes I can't seem to find myself, say if I was with a group of people or whatever and I could just pull out the camera, I feel like it's a nuisance in front of people, but I know it's not, it's just in my head, but I just need to kind of build up my confidence and work on it a bit more. And the time spent with college work, I don't even know where you'd find the time to do editing and all that, because it takes a lot longer. When you're watching the vlogs, you're God, it's handy, just pick up the camera and do that, but a lot of work behind it.
Was there ever a time that you could pinpoint and say, well, you know what, like back then I didn't feel so good and that probably wasn't the most confident point of my life?
Oh yeah, definitely like when I was like 16 or something like that, I think it was when I started the Instagram and I was looking at all these absolutely amazing bodies and all this kind of stuff, and it made, like, I was so vulnerable at that age that it just made me like put myself down. So then that's when I went crazy with like yo-yo dieting and it was just nonsense what I was doing, and that actually brought me down to like nearly an eating disorder down there. Like it was just like underweight and stuff like that, and like that's not what I was striving to do at all. Like when the doctor told me, I literally bawled my eyes out because I just couldn't believe it. So I think that was the point where I just wanted to build myself back up, and that's when I started just weight training and just eating more food anyways, and just trying to feel good rather than constantly work on how I look. And then once I kind of got to a point where I felt confident in what I was doing, that's when I went into competing. And then having been able to work out my confidence for like stage presence, and like when I first got onto the stage and like came off, I didn't care where I placed at all. I just couldn't believe that I'd built up this confidence. Like I could barely get up in class and talk, so that the fact that I was able to get into a bikini on stage, that moment there, like after that my confidence just shoot through the roof. I think it was just the gym, getting out and like doing my own thing kind of, and like if I had this goal that I was going to do it, and like even if you had some other people around you who didn't think the same thing, it was fine. It was just my thing, and I think the confidence just built straight after that show, my first show. The confidence built so much.